Welcome back to our daily show right here on this 21st day of June. Friend of the show at this point, Jesse Allen. How is everything going?
Beautiful day.
I'm telling
Living the dream.
I'm telling you what, I don't know about you. I am living the peaks and valleys of this weather pattern. You know?
Right. That's right. That's right. Well, we had August in, May and June, and then, it's coming back around again. But, that's summer in St. Louis.
I'm telling you what, there is no much different climate than what we got here. And
That's
then, seeing you today, and then the sun's shining, and I'm in the studio all day. So by the time, it's in the morning, it's cold. By 3 o'clock, it's 140 degrees,
In the shade.
In the shade. Good point. And with very high humidity.
Indeed.
But studio's pretty cool right now, and we're talking all things Edwardsville Unity. So right off the bat, Unity Fest 2023 is a couple of months away.
That's right. That's right.
And just how's everything going? Because I know you've had a bunch of programs, a couple of engagements, and you have those recurring throughout the year.
That's correct.
How's everything been?
That's correct. So we're just growing and gaining speed. Had very good success with our community moderated discussions. So we had a 2-part series that was on race, religion, and harmony. And so we had Maya Lawrence, who is the DEI coordinator for Lewis and Clark Community College. And then Anya Covington, who, among other things, is the president of the Edwardsville Human Relations Committee, who are facilitators for that, did a fantastic job. And then our most recent one, we had a trans speaker by the name of Ben Green come out and do an event that it was a moderated discussion that we called Gender Reveal. And it was an opportunity for people to come out and talk about what their gender what it meant to them, what their experiences were, and just kind of gain a better understanding of kind of what this hot topic is. And we got to see it from, a lot of different angles. So, there were people who were very, cis heterosexual, such as myself, but then trans moderators and people from our local Rainbow House that represented. My wife is the president of the local PFLAG. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I am not. Can you fill us in real quick?
Yeah, so I am a member of PFLAG, but my wife is the president. It's Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. And we have a chapter in Edwardsville that runs out of the Rainbow House, which is basically a safe space for the queer community. And they are basically an ally organization. So they provide support to parents or other allies that just want to be more affirming and supportive of the community.
Really cool. And I was going to ask you, because what I think is so fantastic about your guys' group and everyone's group with Edwardsville Unity is the collaborations of all demographics, all walks of life, contributing to conversation. And now when you did this gender reveal, if you don't mind me asking, were you a little hesitant at first with it being a hot topic issue?
Yes, and we did have some discussion about, security issues and those sorts of things, but we held it in the Edwardsville Public Library, and I think because it didn't say drag queen story time, basically, we got away with a fantastic event. There were about 30 people that showed up, but they were from, all ages, all walks of life, different backgrounds, sexualities, orientations, those sorts of things. And it was just a really good experience, I think, for everybody.
And now with that, if you don't mind me touching this a little bit further,
Sure.
I think this is really fascinating. And number one, it takes guts for you guys to do this, because I was always told, Jesse, when I got out of St. Louis radio, CJ, best of luck, don't talk about guns, abortion, or anything like that. I've broken every rule.
Sure.
Because to me, I think it's all about how you discuss things.
That's right.
And it's all about how that conversation's directed.
Absolutely.
And now with this, with the gender reveal and all the other events and speaking engagements you do you have folks that maybe aren't in 100% agreement or don't understand, that come and have their perception kind of at least not altered, but at least improved?
So I would say that because a lot of our, advertising and outreach is just, flyers on coffee shops and those sorts of stuff. We have had some folks who've come in and learned some things. And even just at our regular meetings, there are opportunities for people who are members to change their perspective. So people who are already a part of our organization are still learning and growing through this work. And so would we like to have some people who maybe represent some different ideologies represented? The truth of the matter is, with all of this, we as a society have a tendency to kind of stay on our own islands
Without
and do
a
our own
doubt.
thing. And so part of the purpose of this organization is to have those conversations and do it in a safe space that is actually contributing to the unity of
Yeah.
us as a nation.
And that's why I think what you guys do and everyone with Edwardsville Unity does is so fantastic because, we always forget that. And you're right. I mean, there's no better argument that I can make than, look at Alton. And not picking on anybody, please don't think I am. But, Middletown has their own neighborhood and, North Alton, and it's all there. But it's the same thing in the world. There's different silos and it's good to express and go and cross boundaries and kind of collaborate on these discussions.
Absolutely. And, a great example, we just yesterday, we had a booth at the Collinsville Juneteenth. And so not only, were there opportunities for us to meet different organizations, but different organizations were, getting to partner with us. So, for example, the Black Student Union that put on that event, I think is going to actually participate in Unity Fest. And so we're trying to make some intentional effort to just build those bridges and make those connections.
Well, and with that being said, how has everything gone? I mean, it seems like everything is really is being attended, is having some really great growth, some great conversations, and it's leading up to the cultivation of Unity Fest this year. And before I touch into Unity Fest, and there's so much to dissect there,
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you how important it is for you guys to have these staged, where you're going, okay, this month we're talking about this, and we're building upon these conversations that lead to Unity Fest in September and throughout the year, not even building to the one event, but just building that conversation. How important is it for all of you to do this in a way that's organized and that you're reaching as many as you can?
Well, we are still, as an organization going through those growing pains. So at this point, officially about a year and a half old. And so, we do run into some challenges as far as those organizations, but you never know when you do these individual events, what's going to come out of it. Do you get a new member? Do you get a new connection to a new organization? And so everybody that, all of our members are part of, whether it's the Baha'i community or, just standard Emmanuel Methodist Church, which is a white, for the most part, Christian church, getting all these people together, we get to benefit from their experience. And so we have the opportunity to, gain some organizational knowledge and build those structures and, just having some predictability. So we do our regular planning meetings every other Thursday. So anybody that feels like coming to the Edwardsville Public Library on a Thursday evening, we're always looking for new people in different organizations to come and be a part of this process.
Well, and honestly, this is a fantastic opportunity for organizations, especially ones that are already established and that are newer, because, this Unity Fest is bringing, like we've talked about and kind of touched on before in a past interview and now, all walks of life, where, everyone of every background, economic level, all of that is going to be on display to where you can really get to meet the population, not just a certain silo, not just a certain, and that's why I think this is so important to collaborate with you guys on this.
Absolutely.
And wanted to ask you, even though I'm kind of jumping the gun a bit, but I've already been talking to you for 10 minutes.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, that is wild.
So, I told Jesse this last time. I came in, I said, I just love speaking with you. And you're such just a genuine human being that, the mission speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
And with that being said, I wanted to go to the screen here because we're going to take you to a little bit of some developing news for all of you to do coming up on the 24th of June. I'm going to take that lower third off for a second, but this is the Road to Unity Fest, and this is a fundraiser concert and silent auction, and this is this Saturday, June 24th.
That's correct. Coming up. And so before the interview, you had asked me how Unity Fest was coming, and we basically have the program planned. So just as a refresher for those of you that don't know, it's going to be a completely free, completely inclusive environment, no money, no politics. But in order for us to pay for this, we're having to raise some funds. And so this Saturday coming up, we have a fundraiser concert. It's going to be held in Edwardsville at the Madison County Farm Bureau. Anybody that wants to can, do some research for Edwardsville Unity. But the concert itself is kind of a microcosm of what we're about. So the opening act, The Confluence, is a group of high school jazz musicians who put together their own combo. So we've got the younger crowd represented.
I'm going to pull this back. If you haven't seen the Confluence Band in action, You are missing out. They are fantastic. And I mean that. They played at the Jazz and Wine Festival last year. And I'm telling you what, Chef's Kiss times a billion on that one. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No. I can't do any better advertisement than that. But as we move down the lineup, Samantha Clemens is somebody that you can find online, and I recommend that you do. She's kind of a mix of soul and folk and is going to come with a little combo. But she's got a great voice, a great presence, just a fantastic message. I strongly recommend anybody just look up Samantha Clemens on YouTube. She did a Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a great show. Our third act, Harold Engrossman, is actually a friend of mine, a local rapper out of Edwardsville. So he's a young guy coming up, and he's got a very unique voice. And then our last...
And real question for you real quick with the new rap. I've noticed new rap artists, it's really starting to the industry for rap is starting to really change.
Absolutely.
And it's getting really creative, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, and it kind of, his act in particular takes me back into the days when like spoken word was just crossing over into rap, and there's parts of what he does that's real beat heavy and more rapish, and then there's parts of what he does that's just a little more intellectual, a little more thought out, and a little more just jazzy.
Yeah.
It just feels, it's really something that I have really vibed with. And I'm not going to give away his name, but you come check out Harold. Harold is fantastic. And then the last one, Bellevue, is my partner Jamal's band. Mm-hmm. So he is one of the primary partners with Edwardsville Unity, and so we're going to end on a hard rockin' note. And so as the night goes on, it gets a little bit more, adult crowd, adult themed. But there's something for everybody, right? And we've got this good mix of different ages, different sounds. And we're going to put it all together in a fantastic concert. I am so excited.
Well, I am too. Just looking at this, what I think is really cool about what is happening with this fundraiser concert, everyone's welcome to attend.
That's right.
But if someone's feeling up to it and has that capability of doing so, $10 donation and you're good to go.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important for this, is that what I think is so cool about what y'all do is you aren't a nonprofit saying it's free and you're still charging people, because so many times there's an event that, it's free, but it's a donation where they're basically digging in your pocket yourself. And you're so understanding and so welcoming that it makes it so much more enjoyable to go to these events and participate and support Edwardsville Unity's mission.
Well, and the idea behind the concert is just that while Unity Fest is going to be completely free, free food, entertainment, all that stuff, we still have to have, a way to pay for it.
Exactly.
And that's the idea behind this, is that, if we hit our budget right now, then party's on, and we just keep building and growing and moving on from there.
Well, and that's the thing, because, Unity Fest is going to happen regardless.
That's
it seems like it's just
correct.
How much can we do with these concerts to keep bringing it and building it? And that's what I think is really important about this. So save the date for June 24th. And wanted to ask you, let's go back to the flyer. This is at the Madison County Farm Bureau. So in terms of me, that's more of an Alton person or a Godfrey Grafton. Mm-hmm. Is there an easy access route to get there?
So the easy access route is actually on Old Route 66, which is 157 on. So if you're in Edwardsville and you're on your way out to like Hamel or whatever, it's right there on your right-hand side. You can Google Maps it. So it used to be that the County Farm Bureau was more, just for that, but they have turned their main room into a kind of a presentation room, really upgraded the facilities. There's TVs. It's, set up for sound. And it was just by accident that we kind of fell on this place. But once we did, Jamal and I were both like, we're putting on a show here. And it's a nice spot. And you'd think, Farm Bureau had some offices or whatever, but no, it's a large room. I think the cap is like 150 or 200, something like that. And so we're going to fill the place up.
Oh, that's great. Now I have a question for you. If this goes well, this first one, I'm not putting you on the spot, is there a plan to do an additional fundraiser before the Unity Fest?
Well, so this is like the big event.
Okay, gotcha.
And typically what we have done in the past is that we've done a social media campaign that's like promotional videos that are by our partners. So like last year, Anya Covington made a promotional video. I made one. There was a member of a local church, the Universalist Unitarian here in Alton, did a promo video for us. And just through that, I think we got like $500 in Venmo donations.
Wow.
And so the idea is that the more money that we have, the more food that's available, the higher level of entertainment that we can have. And so, you know, it just depends on how much you guys want to party. And so that's basically what it is that, you know, we already have a pretty solid budget, and it's going to happen no matter what, but we're trying to up the ante, maybe provide, you know, free books to some kids, or, you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of opportunities that we have, and it's just a question of how are we going to pay for it?
Without a doubt. And, you know, I think this is a fantastic way. And what I think is really cool about this is really, you were talking about unity. Talk about unity with a fundraiser concert that's going towards a really big event.
Yes.
That's for everybody. I mean, talk about being a part of an organization. This is really how you do it with Edwardsville Unity.
Absolutely. And I can't say 100% of all of the money that we make is going to go, you know, to that Unity Fest budget. And so basically, you know, for those that have, you know, they can come out, help out, and then they'll reap the benefits later, right? So, you know, I was just at Juneteenth at SIU, and the Gulf Shores food truck was there, and they're always one of our participating partners. So it's like, you know, if you want to get some free Gulf Shores later, come out this Saturday, and it's an opportunity to kind of, you know, pay it forward.
Well, and for all the folks at home, yes, he said, if you want to get free later, support now. So it's a perfect segue. Take us through how Unity Fest is looking as of now. I mean, you can't give the gauntlet, I'm sure, but is there a way that you can kind of give us the layout so far?
Well, I will tell you some of the highlights for me personally. Are you familiar at all with the Gateway Men's Chorus?
I am not.
Okay, so they are a group of men out of St. Louis, and I don't know how many years they've been doing it, but basically they're a choral group that is in support of the queer community. And these guys just put on a fantastic show. The show that I saw was the Christmas show, and it was like 30 guys, and it went for 2 hours. It was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
And so they're out of St. Louis. We have booked a mariachi band called Nuevo Azteca that is out of St. Louis. Alma de Mexico is an authentic Mexican dance group that is also out of St. Louis. The leader of that is Gabriela Cornelius. She does an amazing job, and you can look online and find all of those things. We actually have a member of the St. Louis Symphony, a Chinese person who, and I'm going to say the name of the instrument wrong, but basically does authentic Chinese instrumentation with a symphonic background.
Wow.
And so, you know, we're bringing those sorts of things in.
I just love this, and I hate to keep cutting you off, but this is like literally my event, because I love all walks of life and collaboration. And to me, I think just hearing the different music and the different folks coming together with different vendors, to me, there's nothing better. It almost reminds me of, you know, like going down, my favorite place to go in the world is London, and going to the markets. And that's what I'm kind of getting out of this, where it's all walks of life coming and just enjoying each other's company.
That's
and
absolutely right.
I just love this.
Well, and so, you know, you talk about our partner organizations, NAACP, the YMCA. We're working on including the Special Olympics.
Oh, cool.
Who I think this year might actually run a bags tournament. And that's a fingers crossed kind of thing.
Yeah.
But again, the more money that we have, the bigger, the better the party. But it's an opportunity for people to learn about other organizations, become involved in other organizations like the Metro East Interfaith Partnership, right? Where all of these different religious groups can get together and talk and kind of encourage each other, right? That common mission of, you know, bettering humanity.
And you know, that's a great point, because it seems like the common theme is always there. It's just what route we're going to take to get to that. And
that's right.
It's a huge point to bring up. And that's why seriously, everything you do is fantastic for this, because we need this right now. There's a lot of divisiveness, and I tell people, you know, you look on any major television station, you're going to see something. And to have something like this where we can put the blinders up, you know, for a couple of hours and just enjoy people, enjoy the community, that's better than anything right now.
That's right. Face to face, you know, people shaking hands and hugging and dancing and doing all of that. And that is exactly what we had last year in Unity Fest. So we got about 600 people out, completely successful event. And this year, you know, we're trying to up it. We're going to fill that park all day long. We've added an extra hour Got some fantastic speakers, interfaith prayers, reaching out to different, Buddhist organizations for prayers, and just there's a whole world out there that's right here in our area, and people don't know it and don't see it because they stay on their own island.
You are absolutely right, and I couldn't say it better myself. And we're going to talk to Jesse throughout the summer as we get closer and closer, but I want to circle back to the fundraiser concert because this is important. This is how we're already on the road to Unity Fest, folks. It's just how nice of a road are we going to have?
That's right. That's right. Well, how much free food, right?
Right.
So I'll give you a perfect example. So there's a place here in Alton called My Just Desserts.
Oh, fantastic.
Who was at the SIU Juneteenth event, right? And if we have money, what I would love to do is give that organization, that minority-owned business, that very quality food, just say, hey, what can you give us for $500? Right? And so if we have that money, then that's just dessert for everybody that shows up.
There you go. And you couldn't pick a better staple business than My Just Desserts, and the Campbell family, just fantastic. So we have a couple of minutes left. We've already been talking for 20 minutes.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, every time we talk, it's like we're in a vortex. It's just done.
That's right.
Let's circle back to the fundraiser concert.
Okay.
I'm going to throw the graphic up on screen for all of you again if you're just tuning in on this Wednesday, right? Wednesday, yeah, in downtown Alton. That's what I'm trying to remember here.
Right.
With that being said, fundraiser concert, 4 bands, a silent auction, some refreshments, all taking place June 24th. Give us a brief overview again, just so we make sure we get all the points out that we can to celebrate this and hopefully celebrate a huge Unity Fest.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what we're doing is we're putting on a variety of different bands in an effort to raise money to pay for Unity Fest, but also support local artists. And basically what you get is a 4-band show for just $10. There'll be crafts and opportunities earlier in the evening, more kids, events. And then as the evening goes on, the art and the music, it gets a little bit more adult themed, a little bit louder, a little more rocking. I will say it is going to be a sober event.
Okay, good. Thank you for pointing that out.
And that is just, good for people to know. It also helps tremendously with crowd control and those sorts of things. But basically we're going to open the doors at about 6:30. It'll go to 10 or whenever, the last band feels like being done. But we would love to have as many people come out and just find out more about the organization. So if you are a friend of Unity, if you want to support the cause, if basically you just want to have a good time, right? I strongly encourage everybody to come out. It's just 20 minutes away for those of you that are here in Alton, although I know that your membership reaches, basically the whole Metro East.
Yeah.
But if anybody needs any more information, my name is Jesse Allen. My phone number is 618-960-3431. And if you're interested in participating in the event or the organization, or if there's anything that we as an organization can do for you, please hit me up. Feel free to call me.
And Jesse, like I said before, everything y'all are doing is fantastic. And the growth of Edwardsville Unity as a whole has been, even this few short months of knowing you, has been fun to watch because you all are on the same mission. Everyone's passionate about this, and it's going to lead to a very successful Unity Fest, but hopefully a huge fundraising concert so we can have a very, very great Unity Fest, even though it already will be regardless.
Yeah, well, I was sure that you were going to say lead to a better world.
Oh, that too. Yeah, actually, that's the. Are you right? If I run for office, can you write my speech?
Well, no, but in the end, that's the end goal. Is just helping people to feel more connected and to fight against this idea that we can't get along, or that things, everything's changing. It's for the worst. My wife recently, I'm going to share one little quick thing because I know we have to wrap up. My wife recently has gotten me into Ted Lasso, and I didn't want to watch it, but there have been some really good messages in that show, and I don't know if you're familiar with it.
My parents are huge fans.
But at one point, Ted says, change is usually for the better. And here is the point that I would like to share with this audience. No matter what you think or what you feel, if you really look at changes over time, things are getting better. And what I encourage people who don't believe that is that things are going to change, and they are going to change for the better. And I encourage everybody just to come along with us, right? Be a part of this thing. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. Come enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. And I will definitely be there for the ride all throughout the summer, and we have to have you back on as we creep closer and closer to the big day.
I appreciate it.
However, the big one for you guys to mark down on your calendar is about 3 days away on June 24th with the fundraiser concert. Going to be a great time, and going towards a great goal. And Jesse, thank you so much for stopping by today and really filling us in and giving us an update. I know we're going to have you back.
Well, and I appreciate the Riverbenders' role in it. Like I said, once it comes time to roll out that advertisement budget, we're going to definitely be partnering together, and I look forward to coming back. It's always a good time.
Absolutely. Well, right now we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back, wrap up this Wednesday in downtown Alton after this.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
For the biggest selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in the Riverbend, visit AltonToyota.com or stop by their location on the Homer Adams Parkway in Alton. Winner of the prestigious President's Award, Munganast Burkhardt Alton Toyota knows how to treat their customers, and they will help you find the vehicle that is perfect for you. For years, Munganast Toyota has been a fixture in the Riverbend, and now Munganast Burkhardt carries the tradition. New name, but the same great service you've come to expect.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Lennox system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.